In this video, I'm going to show you a really quick and simple way of painting stars with acrylics. All you're going to need is a palette knife, a stiff hoghead brush, and then some white paint. Now the paint of my choice is the Liquitex Basics, but as long as it's opaque, any white would work really well for this technique. Now what I am showing here is the consistency that you want the white to be. So here the black is just straight from the tube. You can see that it's not pooling up at all. Whereas the titanium white on the right hand side, when I'm using my disposable palettes, I've mixed it with a little bit of water to thin it down slightly, and it's not running down that palette, but it is starting to gather at the lower edge when it is tilted up. That's the sort of consistency that I like to work with when painting stars for this technique. Now for this tutorial, I have taken a section of this real-time version from Patreon. So you can see here that I'm actually explaining everything in that Patreon version as I'm going. Now what I'm explaining here, and this is really important, you'll only make this mistake once, is move that palette knife towards you. Don't move that towards the canvas and away from you, because you will accidentally flick paint in your face. Honestly, trust me, you'll only do it once. But as long as you move that palette knife towards you, that paint is then going to be flicked directly onto your surface. Now the reason why this is my preferred way of painting stars for a painting like this is because it helps to keep everything random. It also creates a nice variety in the size that you have here. Some of the stars look bigger, others are much smaller. But I want to make sure here that I've got a really nice random variation going on. If I were to use a small detailed brush and paint in the stars one by one, we all have a tendency to then move our hand in a very sort of specific and more in a patterned way. That's going to make the stars look very symmetrical, which we don't want. We do want these to be really random. Now I will have a link at the end of this video that shows you the full time-lapse tutorial of this available on YouTube with voiceover, so that you can see the importance of doing this in a specific order. Now if you would also like to paint along to this in the real-time version, I'll link my Patreon in the description below. If this video so far has been useful, if you could give it a thumbs up and a like, that really does help. I'm very, very grateful for that. But here, the importance of these stars, it's very crucial to do it at the right layer. So you want to make sure that you've got your background in first, and then any additional element that's going to be going over the top of the stars must be left later. Because if you then flick these in over the top, it's going to make it look like the stars are in front, which is obviously not what we want. The stars here have to go in before the wolf, they have to go in before the trees, because those stars should not overlap those elements. So I really hope this quick video here is useful. As I said, if it was, if you could give the video a thumbs up, it really does help. And if you want to get notified of future content, hit the subscribe and the bell button. I've got lots of tutorials available on Patreon of various subjects in acrylics and pastels. And as mentioned, that's also going to be linked in the description below. If you would like to see a full list of all of the tutorials that are available there before you sign up, I do have a Patreon library on my website, which I will also pop in the description below. If you've got any art related questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to help if I can, and I'm going to be uploading another video in the next few days.